Hi everyone. Today I'd like to talk about the causes and effects of mental ill health. I don't separate these, I join them together. There's this diagram. There are the effects of mental ill health, which then flow on to become the causes of the mental ill health, which is a very problematic situation. It's a feedback loop, which I call the vicious cycle, where the causes and effects of mental health join together in this big, difficult boil of wax, and the causes become the effects, and the effects become the causes. So let's talk a little bit about how that works. The closest theoretical model to this kind of thing is the social model of health, or the social determinants of health. That's a more general theory. It includes physical health as well as mental health. It's about health and well-being. But it's the same kind of idea that the causes of mental health and well-being are much broader than we generally recognise. In mental health, it's problematic because of this vicious cycle feedback effect. So some of the examples of things which are which let's have a look at some of the things, the indirect things that mental ill health can cause. It causes poverty. It causes poor housing. It causes disturbed sleep. It causes isolation, loneliness, poor diet. It causes people to stay at home all the time in the dark. It means people don't get enough exercise. It means people experience a two-way feeling of being both shunned and excluded from society, including employment. It causes unemployment. It causes the use of drug and alcohol. So mental ill health causes all of these things, including the mental health symptoms. But then when you turn it around, all of these things, all of these negative thoughts, behaviours, experiences, then cause mental ill health. So the effects become the causes become the effects, and the cycle goes round and round. That's why it's so difficult for doctors to treat. They are often just managing the symptoms. By the time doctors see something, some of these things, they have often become ingrained habits or even personalities, personality traits that become part of how people see themselves, how people see their worldview, and their attitude. Learned helplessness is another thing to look up. Sorry, dry throat. Another reason that doctors have such a problem treating mental ill health, and I'll give a quote from Pat Deegan. She said that one of her treating team said, "You would sooner have cancer than mental ill health because it's easier to treat." Having cancer, I'd say that's debatable, but it's an interesting quote. Another reason doctors find mental ill health so difficult to treat is because illness and sickness can manifest at different levels. You can have a dysfunctional, ill, unwell individual, family, community, and society. And, they're not mutually exclusive at all. An unwell society will create unwell individuals. And I think that's definitely the situation we find ourselves in now. Sickness at all these levels manifest as distress and unwellness in the individual. But doctors treat the individual because that's who they have control over. Doctors have a limited biomedical control over an individual. That's who they treat. That's who they blame. That's who they label as being sick. Doesn't make it true. A doctor won't write you a script for more community housing or for non-exploitative employment, or for your family to be happier and healthier and treat you better. Watch out for doctors over-treating the individual when the problem is larger than the individual. Watch out for doctors treating difference, especially non-neurotypical difference, and gender and sexuality. Another key point is the kind of help offered and how it is offered. Mental illness is socially constructed. We dictate what passes as illness, and we teach people in the health system to perform their distress in ways that are acceptable. You must show the right kind of illness and the right kind of distress in order to get help from Centrelink, NDIS, and the medical systems. You must have the right medical diagnosis. And so in order to get help, people are making themselves into the kind of sick that is acceptable. It's the same old vicious cycle. People spend months or years proving how ill they are in order to get help to get better. The model is only treating the ill. This model of only treating the ill is wrong, flawed. Everybody deserves help. We need to think carefully about the help we offer. It needs to build and support independence and recovery, not dependence and illness. This is often the hardest part of being a worker or a family member or a carer. Stepping back and letting the person try for themselves, even when they feel too sick and too tired. And this is where disagreements and conflict occur within the team. It's also where conflict occurs within the person, but it often moves out from the person and manifests in the team. So you have some team members advocating for more help, some advocating for less help. It's very easy to get angry and fly into battle mode and demand more treatment. But for many people, more treatment just makes them sicker, just leads to more negative outcomes. The kind of help we offer often doesn't help. We make people prove how sick they are and then offer them help that, is just making them more dependent and less well. I think that we need to really rethink our whole model of what we call illness and our whole model of what we call help. And we need to have a much greater emphasis on providing help and support for people who are, at risk or, for everybody. We need to be supporting everybody. We need to be building a society that doesn't make people sick like our one does. Look out for the vicious cycle of mental health. It's everywhere in chronic mental health. It says we need a new model. The illness model is inadequate and wrong. We ignore the many, many ways that modern life is driving us all mad, driving us over a cliff. It starts with inequality. It's there in the destruction of the environment and our poisoning of ourselves with chemicals and plastics. It's definitely there in our exploitative economic model where we are exploiting one another and not helping one another. Human beings are social animals. We're cooperative animals, but we don't act like it, and we're driving each other crazy, putting a band-aid on the people who are the canaries in the coal mine and who are unwell. Well, these people need help. They need their supports, yes, but we need much, much broader and more effective mental health support for people who are not defined as unwell, so that we can build better relationships, so that we can build better workplaces, so that we can treat one another better and more compassionately. Thank you.